What's up, guys? Welcome to WaterBear with some vol-au-vent and Bruce and myself, Damian. And today we are discussing, is there a place in today's society and music industry for the concept album? So the concept album has been a very important pillar in the music industry over time. So before we discuss, is there a place for it now with how consumption is, what would you define as a concept? What is the concept of a concept album?
Okay, so you eat that, then you can't disagree with me. Really, the idea behind a concept album is that it's thematically kind of connected, so that all the songs have a commonality, a theme, and usually tell a story through the life of the record. Sometimes that can be really obvious, start to finish, and sometimes it can be quite cerebral and just a mood and a feel around it.
And so what's difficult now is we are in a time where singles rule the roost.
Yeah.
So in order to get the most amount of traction, it's little punches as often as possible.
Yeah.
And then once we've released 5 or 10 tracks, we might put it into a playlist.
Yeah.
We may put it into a CD or some kind of physical merch, but singles are ruling the roost, and so therefore is there a space now, because are people going to understand a concept album in 5 to 10 years' time?
Yeah, and I think that the idea of a concept album is quite tempting. If you're in a band, you're very drawn to it, but if you get it wrong, it can be a ball and chain, really, because it's like, I mean, the idea of making a concept album is a lot more exciting than the idea of buying it.
Yeah.
So, but I wanted to talk to you about this because in some areas of the music industry, at sort of higher levels, I've noticed people starting to say, I think we've ditched the album format too early. Right. Because what people are finding is it's hard to differentiate. Now everyone can not only put a band together so quickly, they can get going, and we've been saying it, that it's logical just to keep putting singles out, isn't it? For all kinds of reasons that we've talked about a lot. However, the result of that 18 months in, 2 years in, from people adopting that strategy, is just more and more music out there. Yeah. So established artists are now looking at the album as it's a bit like using hardware instead of plugins, and real musicians. Dance music is now, there's a real focus on real high-end jazz, real high-end proper playing, real playing on the record, and it's just another way of elevating yourself out this noise. So I think people are seeing the album format as something that we are being a bit hasty to ditch, and it's a way of differentiating. And if you get it right, it still sells and it's monetizable in some contexts.
In some contexts.
Not in others. And this is the trouble with this. It's a very nuanced debate.
Do you know what I think? I've got one for you here.
Are you about to do not a nuanced debate?
Probably.
Okay.
I'm going to say this.
Yeah.
I actually think now, a concept album is the best way, I think, to release an album.
Do you?
We're expecting that, weren't you?
I wasn't.
Let me tell you why.
Yeah, tell me why.
Because for me, I think people think about, all of the time people go, oh, it's all about the marketing and not about the music. And I think, no, it's all about your fans. And social media represents your fans. So when you say to people, I don't care about social media, what you're saying is, I don't care about the fans, because you're not engaging them, you're not showing them, you're not taking with them on the journey. You just go, it's my music, you like it or leave me alone. The good thing with social media is your job is to make interesting content as well as interesting music. But you need interesting music and interesting stories to make interesting content. That's why people start taking pictures of their food, because they just go, that's the most interesting thing of the day. And so they go, well, that's my interesting content. But if you are boring, why would people want to watch you? Now, concept album is stories.
It's the embodiment of a story.
Absolutely. And so we are living in a time where stories are now so important in your marketing strategy that what better way, if you do want to put out an album, to have an album full of stories. So if you think about the concept albums of years gone by, and if you think about the greatest concept albums like Pink Floyd, The Wall, or if you're thinking about Pet Sounds by
the Beach
Boys, or if you're looking at Green Day, American Idiot as a more modern, what you've got there is a bunch of stories as well as one big story.
Yeah. I mean, I was chatting to quite an exciting new band the other day. quite interested in music that's taking place in the garage right now, because I love the ragginess and the excitedness of the potential and everything. But what you're always looking for is the seeds of that story.
Yeah.
So I was chatting to this band called Fire Eye,
Right.
and it was so amazing because they're so clear on what they're doing, and it was all about North European mythology, Icelandic and Norwegian mythology, and the lyrics were absolutely about that. So I suppose like the Immigrant Song by Zeppelin, it's all about that kind of, you know, Viking far north history.
Right.
Perfect band to make a concept album, to tie that all together. And another opportunity as well is with that kind of that fantasy stuff. It's got a place now.
Yeah.
Because it's super niche, but if you know, the world revolves around niche bands now. So super exciting there, but also it's a way of documenting the time that you live in.
Right.
You know, a story about a character that lives now. We've got a chance to tell what it's like to live in 2019 going into 2020. So
maybe we'll see more concept albums, because as we're going into more stories and in just going, like you said, another song, why can't they start to link together? But instead of being, here's our concept album, maybe it's our concept album but released in a different way.
Yeah.
So for example, the songs then form part of the story. So instead of giving the story away in one go, it could potentially still be the same thing where we're releasing singles, but the concept album is released over 8 or 10 or 12 singles.
Yeah, and you don't have to use the term concept album because it's got baggage with it. It's got a kind of uncool thing about it.
Right.
Despite some of the, you know, look at Tommy, some of the greatest moments in rock and roll have been through this conceptual thing. However, it has got baggage. So if we don't actually call it that, but we actually are making conceptual music, it's also an opportunity to be autobiographical as a songwriter without actually laying your soul on the line for social media to unpick and everyone to have a look at your business, you know. But you can write about yourself, but you can invent characters. Yeah. You know. And I think people who are social commentators like Arctic Monkeys or The Streets, it's that kind of writing. Lily Allen, you know, that kind of writing is... I mean, that's what we all want. We want people to document the times that we're in.
Absolutely, yeah, whilst telling the stories of today. Yeah.
So I think we'll both agree that the world needs more concept albums.
Yeah, I agree. And so, quite interesting, because obviously I'm so against albums.
Well, I suppose what you're saying is there's nothing wrong with an album if there's a reason to do it.
Absolutely. That's the bit. I'm against albums because people are putting out albums without the track history, without the audience, and without a reason for putting out an album.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great one. I think people should be doing more concept albums.
You heard it here first. The world needs more concept albums. And if you are finding music is an important part of your life, then don't forget you can have this kind of discussion, this kind of debate at WaterBear all the time. You can do an online master's or an online degree, or you can come and study in the heart of Brighton. We do this stuff all the time.